The flow of a seller transaction in Ontario broken down in 10 minutes and in 10 steps. I just did a video that broke down the complete buyer side of a transaction in Ontario, and it got a great response. I had to do the sell side, which is probably my favorite side. I know in the Humber College Real Estate program, we just don't quite learn the flow of a transaction, so let's break it down. This video will be very helpful just to get the steps organized in your mind, but I do go way more in depth in my buyer and seller logistics and actions course in the description below. More on that later in the video, but let's start. Step 1, find the seller's property on the MLS or Geo Warehouse and do a complete CMA. Let's say for the sake of this video, you have a potential seller client. You've either been prospecting, they were referred to you, or they are part of your SOI. So there are a couple things we want to do before the listing presentation, of course, and we'll get to that. But while on the phone with them or while in person, I like to quickly ask them if they've done any renovations or any upgrades on the home since they've lived there. When at the property, we're going to do a walkthrough, of course, but I like to get a good visualization before going of what it might possibly look like now. Because most of the time when we search for their property on the MLS and find the previous listing, a lot of those photos will be dated. You'll also want to head over to Geo Warehouse. Sometimes you won't even be able to locate their property on the MLS, but even if you can, I still go to Geo Warehouse to gather as much information as possible. Then I would start my complete comparative market analysis to find good value for their home, a listing price, and of course, a selling strategy. I say complete CMA, but we still have to see the property. Right now, we'll have a really good idea of what we want to list the home for, but we still have to do that initial walkthrough at the listing presentation as the final piece. From there, we move to step 2, preparing the forms in web forms and AuthentiSign and getting them ready to sign at the listing appointment. If your brokerage or yourself uses DocuSign or DigiSign, same thing. We as realtors get AuthentiSign included. It's great and I use it. So I like to be over prepared and have the forms needed filled out and ready to be sent to my clients for signing. I also put the price in there that I want to list the home at, but of course your sellers will ultimately have last say and we can change that on the spot. I have these forms prepared for a couple reasons. One, like mentioned, I want to be over prepared, but 2, I want to be leaving that listing appointment with a signed listing agreement. So for the listing presentation, of course, put together a nice little package that has all the information about yourself and your unique selling propositions, but the main part of that listing package should be the market snapshot. So this market snapshot, I like to refer to it as, is the comparable homes in the area, to a certain extent our CMA, and why we want to list the home for the price we've recommended. Go through all of the comparable homes you have with them. Either print off the listings and highlight certain things so they can look and follow along with you, or at the least make sure they have a laptop or tablet in front of them with the comparables to see. This is where you can indicate the features or lack of features other comparable properties have, what they sold for, or even why they are not selling. Just try to keep that one piece of value in your mind, the market snapshot. You could have the fanciest listing packages in the world, but communication will trump everything. They have to personally see why we are going to be listing the property for the price we are. They have to understand why. Communication and understanding is everything. If they like you as well, that does help just a bit. From here, we now have a signed listing agreement, all forms filled out properly for our timing. We now move on to step 3, get for sale signs up and organize photos, videos, 3D tour, and measurements. Pretty basic step here, and if you do what I suggest in my course, your for sale sign and basically your coming soon rider that you'll need on top is a text, phone call, or email away. No matter what area you are in, you will have real estate sign installation companies. They store your signs, they put them up, they take them down. Too easy. As far as pictures, video, 3D tour, and measurements, same thing. Every area will have tons of different businesses that do this all in one package. Don't stress. Google is your friend, make the connection. Organize that, schedule it all, and that's step 3, outsourced. On to step 4, start MLS listing skeleton. This is where we put in all of the details about the property, double checking with Geo Warehouse, and start to write out our realtor remarks to communicate well with other agents, and public remarks to essentially romanticize the property. It's not going live just yet, of course, but I like to have that basically done and ready, which leads us to step 5, prepare to market the property. This is where things start to get really fun and could be one of your unique selling propositions as well. I like to start generating buzz online and in the neighborhood about our coming soon property. Online, we can use the professional photos and video that our photographer or videographer took. Your photographer will also give you high resolution images ready for print that you can start to make different postcards or flyers with to hit the streets to let everyone in the neighborhood know your property is coming up for sale. While making your coming soon marketing, you can also prepare all of your just listed and now listed ads you will be running, all of which I go into detail in my course. But with that set up and all ready to go, we move to step 6, get last signatures within 48 hours. This is a really fast step, but we'll need to get the last signatures from our clients before this property hits the MLS. Different boards do this a little differently, but essentially we just need our clients to sign off on all of the details we've put into the listing that's going to go up on realtor.ca. Which leads us to step 7, launch listing and set up showing instructions. Depending if you're using Broker Bay or Showing Time, this step is very fast and sometimes even automatic. But once you're set up, once your showing tool is set up, now your property can be shown by cooperating agents with ease. Of course, by this time you've already discussed with your clients how the showing process is going to work and how you are going to be communicating with them to make sure the property is clean, tidy, and they are out of the house during showings. We are also in close communication with other agents or brokers that show the property. We will be able to see who and when anyone has shown the property. From here, we move to step 8, how to handle offers, and for the sake of this video, we now have one accepted offer. There are a number of ways you could be handling offers. In my course, I go into detail of a few different strategies and scenarios you will encounter. You could be accepting offers within a 24 or 48 hour irrevocable period, or you could be holding offers to a specific date. If you are holding offers, there'll be separate forms in play like the 244 seller's directions. You'll want to have processes and email templates ready so you can be communicating well with other agents that have shown interest in the property or just shown it at all, and how offer day is going to be handled. Just like the listing presentation, good communication and organization is huge. The last thing you ever want for your clients is missing out on possible offers because of poor communication. Here's where you could be doing some negotiations as well, which is by far up there with marketing, one of my favorite parts of the game. It's fun, it's enjoyable, and when it's all said and done, we now have an accepted offer. This is a very exciting time for yourself and your clients, but we'll need to get all of the documents sent to us by the cooperating agent signed in a timely manner. From here, we move to step 9, handling the deposit and organizing documents for our admins. This is where you give instructions to the cooperating agent of how your brokerage handles deposits and how they will be getting it to you within 24 hours. It could be a bank draft or certified check dropped off at a bank your brokerage is aligned with. You could meet them to get it. They could drop it off at a physical brokerage location, or hopefully in the future, everyone will be using this new amazing app. From here, we will upload or email all of our final documents to our brokerage admin staff to double check, which leads us to step 10, closing. As the listing agent, we just want to make sure our clients have a good plan. They are in communication with their lawyers, they're setting up movers, and we are all very aware of the possession date. Congratulate your seller clients, take them out for dinner or drinks, and start promoting your newly sold property in the area to generate business. 10 steps to the seller transaction process here in Ontario. Of course, if you want to know how to do all the details of the seller and buyer side, look for my buyer and seller logistics and actions from A to Z course in the description below, where I go into way more detail of how to do it all. This course is extremely undervalued. It's the exact flow of a real estate transaction here in Ontario. You will learn in weeks what takes average agents months, years, or what I'm finding out some never learn. That course took me hundreds of hours to put together, and that link in the description below, and I'll put it at the end of the video as well, is a value link for the YouTube family. I really hope that helped, and reach out if you have any questions at all. You can DM, email, comment on this video. I get back to everyone. My name is Callum Moore, eXp Realty real estate agent here in Ontario, and we'll see you in the next one.